He ruled with elegance. Draped in silk and crowned in gold, Queen Rasha was once the pride of an empire that feared no enemy. Her beauty was legendary, her wisdom admired. But in the shadows of her throne, whispers grew, whispers of betrayal, of secret meetings with the enemy, of a queen who dared to play both sides. When the truth came out, or what they believed was truth, the court didn't just want justice. They wanted vengeance. Slow, painful, public. So they sentenced her to the most horrifying death imaginable, to be flayed alive, strip by strip, inch by inch. Her screams echoed through the Capitol like a ghost tearing through the sky. But the real question was never whether she betrayed them. It was, why was she the only one punished? And what if she was innocent all along? Her name was Queen Rasha of Elaria, just 29 years old, a daughter of nobility, a bride by alliance, and a ruler by force of will. In a court full of greedy men and ruthless generals, she was a rare figure of strength and balance. But the empire she led was rotting from the inside. Corruption ran deep. Loyalty had a price. And when war came to their borders, she was the one caught in the middle, between the power she served and the truth she believed in. She wasn't just a queen. She was a woman they couldn't control. This story unfolds in the twilight of the Ilarian Empire, a once mighty kingdom torn apart by rebellion and betrayal. The year was 1432. The eastern provinces had risen against the crown, backed by foreign powers who sought to divide and conquer. The royal court in Ilaria was desperate and paranoid. Rumors swirled that Queen Rasha had been corresponding with enemy commanders. She had attended secret peace talks, not authorized by the king. And worse, she was suspected of leaking troop movements to avoid bloodshed. But in an empire ruled by war-hungry lords, mercy looked a lot like treason. And in a system designed by men who feared powerful women, her independence was treated like defiance. It began with an anonymous letter, sealed in wax, placed at the feet of the Grand Chancellor. Inside, damning accusations that Queen Rasha had met with a rebel general under the cover of night, that she had signed a secret pact, that she intended to hand over the capital in exchange for peace. The court was already boiling. Enemies she had humiliated politically now saw their chance. No trial, no hearing, just a unanimous vote, guilty of treason. She was stripped of her royal titles and dragged to the city square. There, on a blood-stained stone platform, she was tied upright, hands bound, head held high. A masked executioner stepped forward. The sentence, flaying alive, a death once reserved for only the worst traitors. "Start at the back," a voice ordered coldly. Steel met skin. She didn't scream, not at first. She looked her accusers in the eye, every general, every noble, and said in a voice as calm as the morning tide, "Your empire dies with me." Then the knife slid deeper. As her skin was peeled away in strips, the crowd began to murmur. Some cried, some turned away. But the court watched, unblinking. For nearly an hour they carved her body open. She fainted 3 times. They revived her each time, not out of mercy, but to prolong the suffering. And when at last she collapsed, barely breathing, she whispered her final words. "I tried to save them all." Then silence. They buried what was left of her body outside the palace walls, unmarked, unloved. The next month, the empire fell. The same rebels she tried to negotiate peace with stormed the capital. The generals who condemned her were executed. The king was overthrown. The throne room where she once stood proud was burned to ash. And the letter that had damned her? Historians now believe it was forged. Her so-called betrayal was likely a lie, a political trap to remove a queen who had grown too powerful, too compassionate, and too uncontrollable. In the end, Queen Rasha wasn't killed for treason. She was killed for trying to end a war without blood. But in doing so, she left behind a legacy far louder than her screams. a question carved into the bones of history. Was she the traitor, or were they?